Attention, citizens of planet Earth. This is a public service announcement. We have come to tell you that everything that you have been told.
Hey, what's going on? This is Lock 'em Up Hoops podcast. I'm Realistic Randy with Mastermind and Bo Berry. Talk all things NBA. What's going on, gentlemen? We're recording from the Bay Area and New England alike. How are you guys doing today?
Good, man. How's it going?
Good. We're just going to get right into it. The first round is over with. Now we're going to start with the second round of the playoffs. We're also going to talk about Luke Walton. He is the new head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. We're also going to talk about buzzer situations, anything that's going on in our lives or NBA, whatever it is we want to talk about. First, let's talk about these playoffs right now as it stands. Mastermind, let's start with you. What do you make of the playoffs as the first round just ended and the second round is now beginning?
Okay, so as we talked about in a few podcasts ago, Realistic Randy, I know you mentioned that the first round was kind of boring. I feel that this is going to be the second round. Just going off of the Golden State and the Portland Trailblazers series, I feel as though that's just a handicap match in my opinion. The Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and when Steph comes back, I think that'll be way too much for Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. Even though they do have Miles Plumlee playing really, really well.
This is Mason, right?
Mason Plumlee, yeah.
So many Plumlees everywhere.
I know, right? They have like 7 of them. But
it's a league full of brothers.
Yeah, but Mason, he's been playing really well too. But I think he's met his match with the Warriors. A lot of people think that this team overachieved, but I think they're deserving. Damian Lillard was snubbed an All-Star, and he is one of the best. He's a superstar. He's one of the best players in the world. So I feel like they are deserving, even though you know what happened to the Clippers. Outside of that, I think that the Spurs and Thunder will be my favorite series to watch, even though the Thunder did get beat by 30-plus points. I just think that, you know, they caught them on a bad day, even though they shouldn't. Russell and Kevin Durant know the situation. They've been in this situation many times. But I think Kawhi and LaMarcus, they're big time. I apologize again to LaMarcus Aldridge. You are
he balled,
I see what
man.
you're doing.
He went off.
Went off 38, man. That's crazy.
I can see this. I think that if OKC doesn't tie this up in game 2, I think this will go 6. I definitely don't think that they'll sweep the OKC. They have way too much talent for that. And going to the Pacers and Raptors, I know they're still in the first round. I have the Pacers winning in game 7. I'd rather see the Pacers go up against the Heat. I do not want to see the Raptors any longer. I'm disgusted with them. I'm through with them.
Kyle
Lowry and DeMar DeRozan.
Both of them.
Yeah,
I'm putting more on Kyle, though.
I'm putting in both of them because they're both supposed to be the second best backcourt in the league. And they're both shooting like 30% in this series. They're both averaging like 15 and 14 points a game. Like, these guys are supposed to be superstars, and they're just underachieving again for the third straight year.
Sounding like Sir Charles.
I don't want to see them. I don't want to see them again. And the other series where you have not Miami. You got the Cavs and Hawks. That should be an interesting series as well. I can see that going 6. I don't think that they will get swept. I think the Hawks do have talent. I think that Paul Millsap will kill Kevin Love down low. I'm going to call that. I'm not saying that he's better, but I think Paul Millsap's underrated. He's always been underrated his whole career. Yeah. He's been an all-star the last 4 years.
Put 45 up in the Garden too. That's impressive.
Exactly. We've seen it live, so you know what he can. I think Jeff Teague he's a really underrated player as well, and you know they have their shooters in Kyle Korver and Kent Bazemore as well, who he's shown me a lot of something lately. He's really athletic.
In LA.
And outside of that, I think that I'm going to make a prediction now. I think it will be the Thunder and Warriors conference finals, and you're going to have Miami and the Cavs. Did I say that right? I have the Warriors.
You said Thunder and Warriors.
Sorry, Warriors and Spurs, and then I'm going to have the Miami and Cavs, and that's ultimately what I've been hoping for this whole year, is to see those two teams match up.
For the past like 2 years.
So that's my take on the second round or playoffs so far.
Bo Berry, what's your take on the playoffs as it stands right now?
So similar to Mastermind's thoughts on the Western second round series over there. OKC, they have a lot to think about now. Enough of that dancing that they do before the games, and no disrespect, realistic Randy, they're not Dallas. I think Dallas was a pushover, and I think you can come into the game and kind of like, not be focused and everything, and do your little antics and whip your nay and everything like that. But at the end of the day, the Spurs came through and kicked ass, and they showed them like, that dance and stuff and all that's not going to phase us because we come here to play basketball. They should know that, for the past 4 or 5 years themselves. So, OKC, they better wake up because they got smashed over there on Saturday. And I definitely see this series going either 7, and if they don't get their act right, I would just say 6. So I would like to see what they'll do in game 2 for me to have honestly a better judgment because this game was awful. Like, Russell, KD, he scored 16 and Russell had 14. So they both had an awful game, and they shot under 40%. Or Russell actually shot 26% from the field, which was awful. Touching a little bit on the Portland season, as Mastermind also said, this is a boys versus men. These guys clearly aren't ready for him yet. Draymond having a triple-double, Clay exploded for 37 points. This team is going to beat them in 5. And ultimately, I will be seeing the Spurs and the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals, as I predicted, throughout our podcast here. And then touching a little bit on the East side, LeBron James and them, I clearly see that being a 4-1, 4-2 series right there, Cleveland. There's just too much firepower over in Cleveland for the Atlanta Hawks to overcome. I mean, we've seen this happen last year. They lost they lost to them last year as well.
They got swept.
They got swept.
And they were
exactly.
the number 1 seed
and
last year.
They were number 1 seed.
Yep.
They were better last year. So I don't see this really even extending even more than 5 games, honestly. Like, this is just, LeBron is going to clear through that and meet his boy Wade in Wade County and, Miami and them. So that's what's going to happen with that. They're too similar to the Celtics for me. Like, they don't really have that guy, in order to, overcome a LeBron James type of player and Kyrie Irving and them. And then just briefly touching on, who I would like to see going on and facing Miami next round would be honestly, I'd like to see Indiana Pacers because I've always said this after that first game with Toronto there. The Pacers are a dangerous team. It's a superstar. He's a solidified superstar, experienced in the league, got playoff experience. He can get over this hump. He's been there before. These guys, the Toronto Raptors, they're proven that they're a shell of just themselves. Like, whatever that meme is where it's the Red Yoshi versus like the Toronto Raptors, during the regular season, it comes in pure form, in the playoff time. So my take is that, at the end of the day in the Eastern Conference, it's going to be, as I predicted, Miami versus Cleveland. And I will definitely say that man, Dwayne Wade, smells the blood when he gets there. And I'm going to say that they will take Cleveland in 7.
Stop it.
Bullberry
talking to you.
Bullberry, I got to agree with you. I've also got Cleveland winning this series in 5 games. I don't think I don't know. I feel bad for the marketers of this series as far as, this is Cleveland versus Atlanta. Must watch TV, right? Am I right? No, this is going to be over with in 5 games.
Terrible.
Miami, I'm very impressed with the way they finished out this series. Bullberry talked about D. Wade, smelling blood in the water. Game 6 back in Charlotte, man. Kemba Walker. Now check this out. So at the beginning of this series, I always talked about how I want this first round to be over with. It's not going to be, anything worth watching. I thought the second half of Game 7 of Heat versus Hornets was going to be the make of this entire series. In the second half, Miami outscored Charlotte 81-49. 81-49. Not in the second half. Excuse me. Outside the second quarter, Miami outscored the Charlotte Hornets 81-49. So the second quarter was 25-24 Miami over Charlotte. But the rest of the quarters, the other 3, 81-49. This wasn't much of a game. I thought this whole series would be that way. But nevertheless, Miami's going to move forward. Kemba Walker, I talked about how he needed to go on a UConn run. Game 6, I thought it was over, man. I thought Charlotte was going to end up winning this series. Kemba went for 37, and then D. Wade reverted back. Man, that was 05-06.
Wade.
Yeah, that was 05-06 D. Wade back in the finals. That was like finals
Thanks
MVP
to that
D.
heckler.
Wade.
I'm blaming the heckler. I'm blaming that guy.
Man in the purple suit.
Hey, man, he did his thing, including 2 clutch 3-pointers. The last one he made a 3-pointer to put Miami up 5 with 46 seconds left. That game was coming down to the wire, and D-Wade just said, hell no. I'm also with you guys. I want to see Indiana move forward. Toronto, I'm done with them, man. I said they were a hell of a team for this regular season. They improved upon last year. They were the second seed. I thought they would challenge Cleveland in the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm done watching them. I'd rather see Paul George and the undermanned Pacers move forward because I believe they'll make it much more of a series. Toronto, you don't know what to expect from them, really. Lowry and DeRozan, I don't think they're still a year or maybe a couple away. That's assuming DeRozan comes back to Toronto this offseason.
Lowry's 30 years old too, by the way.
But I end up.
How much longer do they need?
Yeah, but I've got Cleveland versus Miami in the Eastern Conference Finals, just like you two. Going to the West, Warriors versus Blazers. Now, Bullberry, let me talk to you real quick 1 second. You saw in that game, Warriors versus Blazers, Steph Curry, the man, talk about it. I'm ready. I think I should be ready to go by Saturday. He talked about straight from the man's mouth, and he seemed to be honest. It seemed like he wasn't trying to hold anything back or give some prepared statement. It looked like he was just genuine about his answers. He said, I don't see why I shouldn't be back for game. I'm paraphrasing right here, but he says, I don't see why I shouldn't be back for game 3. I believe that's on Saturday or whatever Saturday's game is. Maybe it's game 3, game 4. But we'll see how that goes. Barry, you said he was done. He was finished. You proclaimed him as the curse of LeBron, of winning MVPs.
Winning
over
MVPs
LeBron.
and
it's over.
getting injured.
And I said the way this series is set up with the Clippers injuries and everything like that, games being 2 or 3 days apart, Steph Curry will come back, and the only thing he needs to worry about is breaking off the rust. So I see the Warriors winning this. And you know what? I'm not gonna say the Blazers are undermanned in this series because Steph Curry is out. I believe it's ultimately they're going through something what Toronto's going through with Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan. We have high expectations for them, but they're not showing up day in and day out. We see the same thing with Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum in these playoffs where if they perform well together, their team is likely going to win or have a chance at winning. But when they're struggling,
and CJ played awful today.
Yeah,
too.
And when they're struggling, it's not going to bode well for them. But ultimately, I see the Warriors winning this in 5, maybe 6 games if the Blazers are lucky.
So did you say that they have the same pressure as
right as Toronto?
No. What I'm not saying they have the same pressure. I'm saying they're having the same situation where their backcourt is struggling in Toronto to stay consistent in these playoffs. The same thing is going with Portland. Toronto has much more pressure.
I disagree with that still.
Yeah, I do too.
When
Lillard had 30.
He had 30, and then CJ played.
I'm saying when both backcourt members are playing well. So together, when Lillard and CJ McCollum, when they're not playing well, I know one can go off in the other, but right. Both of them, those are their 2 best players. You know what I mean? So they both need to play well. They're going through something serious.
Similar?
As far as Toronto, what they're going through, because they've been inconsistent as well. That's all I'm saying. Because if they don't play well, all right, check this out. If DeRozan and Kyle Lowry, if they don't play well, who do they have? All right, Valanciunas, he's going to do his thing, but it's not going to be enough. Same thing in Portland. If McCollum and Lillard together combined aren't playing well, who are they going to rely on?
Well,
Mason Plumlee,
you got
maybe he'll be okay.
Al-Farouq
Amino, but you can't.
They've been consistent though.
But not enough to overcome. But not enough to overcome the gap in performance of what the combined, missing elements of, Lillard and CJ McCollum. You need them both to play well. You can't just have one playing well and the other playing not so hot. So that's what I meant as far as comparable to Toronto. Toronto's got way more pressure because they're the number 2 seed. Blazers, they don't have nearly they overachieved because of everything they went through. They were supposed to rebuild him, but I'm saying as far as their struggles, they're a little bit comparable to Toronto in that way. Their 2 best players are in the backcourt. They need to play well together. And moving on to OKC Spurs. Look, man, game 1 on Saturday, Spurs won 124-92 against OKC. Kawhi Leonard, man, look, this dude is a ball. This dude is a ball. And I don't even know what he sounds like, to be honest. I mean, I hear him once in a while.
That's funny that you said that.
Most humblest superstar
this dude is an absolute beast. And we talked about I think, Mastermind, you talked about a couple of podcasts ago as far as the Thunder. They don't really have plays set up. They just rely on their talent as far as Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant.
You've seen it. Yesterday.
But you can't do that against the Spurs because it seems like every play they execute, it was designed. It seemed like it was meant for that to happen. And I'm not
what it
going to
is.
keep beating this dead horse, but Enes Kanter, 10th in the league in PER, and he only plays 20 minutes a game. So that could help you out, but I'm going to leave that there. Ultimately, I see
Remember, Spurs
Spurs.
had 19 too. Stepped up.
That's all well and good, but Enes Kanter is 10th in the league in PER. The team is better when Enes Kanter is on the court.
Yep.
I think ultimately Spurs are going to win this in 6 games. I think the Thunder, they'll win 2 games out of this. They'll find a way.
Yep.
But as far as that's concerned, I got Warriors Spurs in the Western Conference Finals just in time for Steph Curry to come back on a mission and for Bowlberry to have that face that he has right now saying, "Oh, I made a mistake. I apologize. He's done, but not
He
really."
needs to come back. He has to come back this series, though.
Yeah.
This series, though, yeah. You don't do that against those Spurs.
Yeah, you can't shake off
Spurs,
Russ
too.
against the Spurs. I agree with that.
They're going to put Kawhi on him,
Nope.
and you're going to need to be a full.
You're going to need to be at full.
Yep.
Not 100% because we know he's not 100%, but he's got to shake off that rust.
Yeah,
I think he will be 100%.
I think he's.
You think
gonna
this is a
come
floor
back.
injury? You think they've been playing games? I think
No.
they've been playing games.
It's
No.
not a game.
The Warriors aren't
Playing.
about that.
Playing. You'd be playing if he wasn't hurt, but
You know.
Yeah.
But I think he has like Knicks and they just overdo it is what I'm saying. Like, yeah, he's like hurt, but it's not as bad. And it's like, all right, we're just not gonna risk it. Like,
they're
we
just
can
trying to
probably
make
beat
sure.
this
Exactly.
team. Right, that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
But
I
I think it's a ploy.
he could come back game 2 too, because I heard Steve Kerr say that there's
That's
a
what
possibility, but
Mhm.
it'd be smart to.
It's a long shot.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that yet.
You want to make
But
sure that he's
also, I
not ready
think
to go.
it's scary too because this is a little chippy. We saw what happened with Henderson and Verjao today too.
That's
So like,
nothing.
it's another.
That's nothing.
It's a little bump play, but it's another chippy series. This is an underdog team here. That's
Playoffs,
I don't know.
word.
I think Curry will be just fine. I think he's going to come back and reassure why if he keeps playing the way he's been playing the regular season. I mean, obviously he's going to win back MVPs this year, but if he keeps playing the way he's been playing during his MVP season, he may be in the topic conversation with the great Michael Jordan. And that's going to be it. I mean, I don't know. Any final thoughts on these playoffs? I mean, I'm glad the second round's here. I know at the end of the first round got a lot more interesting, especially, Mastermind, you talked about don't count out the Hornets. I said I want them to be done, but they ended up taking it to 7 games. But ultimately, I think maybe the lights just got too bright for him, and the leadership of Dwayne Wade and his playoff experience, played a big role in that. As far as the Eastern Conference Finals, if Chris Bosh was there, I give him a chance against the Cleveland Cavaliers. I give him no shot in that series.
I still give him a shot even without, just because of the pressure situation. Because
LeBron still
under. He still hasn't won a game in Miami since he left. So
make your predictions now. What you got?
Oh, I'll say. I want to say 7.
Who?
I want to say it. I'll say 7. I honestly think
7 Wade.
7.
But
I
who?
can go 7 because I think
7
for
Wade.
the Cavs, of course.
Oh, okay.
Wade.
Yeah.
So
7
you're
Wade.
you're
all
going
day.
Miami in 7, Bowberry then.
I'm sticking with
Okay.
it. I've been sticking with it all year long.
All right.
If that matchup was to happen,
I've
Miami
got
in 7.
Cleveland. I've got Cleveland in 5. All right, I'll do 6, but I think they can do it in 5, to be honest. I think the firepower
They're on a
of
tear?
Cleveland. I think the firepower of Cleveland is just going to be too much. I think it's just going to be too much, and they need Chris Bosh if you're the Miami Heat. So now,
If they win in.
go ahead.
Whiteside, man. Whiteside's a difference
I'm
maker.
about to say him too. If they want to go 5, that means J.R. Smith has to be on for them to win.
He has to not be the dumpster fire. You know what I'm saying? He has
Yeah.
to not be the dumpster fire
He's
that
not
we
a
always
dumpster
see him
fire,
be.
though. JR's
Oh, he's
definitely
such
not
a dumpster fire for me. In the
Nah.
playoff time, he's a dumpster fire, man.
Nah,
That's another
I won't
topic.
say that. I won't say, yeah.
I
won't
think
say
even
dumpster
with their
fire,
big
though.
3, just the way they operate, think about. I mean, they're going to have Luol Deng on Kevin Love. I understand that, but we saw. To me, Tobias Harris isn't Tobias Harris and Luol Deng? Aren't they around the
He's
same
in-
size too?
They're like 6'9".
Yeah.
6'9".
So when we saw what Kevin
Builds
Love,
are different though.
yeah, that's
Luol's
true.
a little bit more
Luol's
physical.
long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
Luol's
more
a little
long
bit-
too.
I just think the big 3 alone. I think whether J.R. Smith shows up or not, I think they'll just be too much for the Cavs. Can you count on Dwayne? Dwayne Wade's going to need to match LeBron, and then who's going to match the production of Kyrie? I mean, I know Goran Dragic, he
Kyrie.
had a great game today, but
Oh,
who
yeah,
knows
yeah.
what's going to happen if he's
This
going to
is
keep
Kyrie,
that
though.
momentum. It's Kyrie and then Kevin Love. I think that's just going to be too
K
much
loves
for
the
him.
X Factor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And Whiteside
loves
is
the
gonna.
X Factor,
and
man.
Whiteside is definitely gonna alter shots. Like LeBron's not
Mhm.
gonna have. He's gonna.
He's not
be
going to the
contested
cup
every
like that.
time. No, he will. That's LeBron.
We'll see.
But he's
We'll
gonna
see.
get.
No,
they're
I mean
gonna
it's not
contest-
easy. It's not gonna be as easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be contested.
Yeah, we'll leave it there at that. This is the Lock 'em Up Hoops podcast. Now we're going to talk about Luke Walton in the next segment. He is the new head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. I am Realistic Randy with Mastermind and Bowberry.
Attention, citizens of planet Earth. This is a public service announcement. We have come to tell you that everything that you have been told is a lie.